I think I'm having like a revelation about a chicken and the egg moment in karma and revenge and justifications of violence and rationalizations of value. Distorted rationalizations of value lead to justifications of violence. And when we explain karma, now, for me, karma should be like, well, it should be, the goal is to end the wrongdoing. Like, you're supposed to learn a lesson. So when you get things like an eye for an eye, or like, I would almost go as far to say it's more of a cause and effect. It's not even a karmic consequence. It has nothing to do with karma and feelings and justice. It has to do with cause and effect. It's like, if you jump in a puddle, you will get wet. It's not a karmic. I think we're getting the definition of it confused. Because, listen, like, if you do something wrong, this is just what I've learned. If I did something wrong, but it's hard for me to explain it. Okay. If you do something wrong, okay, and you walk up to someone and you say, and you come out about it, you did you wrong. And maybe, okay, so in my case, okay, now I can say it from my perspective. When I've done wrong, now watch, people are gonna, hold on. I had this dream one time where I was trying to talk and this other woman was like making sure that these other two girls could talk first, and I don't fucking care. I couldn't give two fucks less, but I keep having to be paying attention to shit that I don't fucking care about. Okay, so, not that like, when I say I don't care, that doesn't mean I want harm caused. It just means I don't give a fuck. It's like, it's asking me to like vanilla when I like chocolate. It's asking me to like jazz when I like metal. And that, by the way, I love jazz. Okay, so anyways. So for me, and you see this in a lot of like testimonies, like people going through it, being shitty, and then waking up one day and being like, I don't want to be shitty, and then they're like, great, and then they have to, when they declare I'm not going to be shitty anymore, and they start having to face their karma, or in other words, come to terms with the consequences of their actions. This isn't the same as like someone saying, I want vengeance and justice because you're not learning the lesson. Okay, so if I do something wrong, if I do something wrong, and I'm sincerely sorry about it, and I do everything in my power to make it right, and you remain in my life, and you decide to keep me in your life, but then years pass, and I've clearly paid my dues, and you're still banking on, you're basically collecting, interest off of my dues. And what happens is, all of a sudden, all of those dues paid, I did feel sorry. I did. I really did feel sorry. But because there was supposed to be an end to it. There was supposed to be a moment, a day where you forgave and I learned my lesson and we moved on. But instead, you tried to keep me trapped in the fucking lesson. and you're trying to call it justice as if you've never fucking made a mistake a day in your life. So this is my point is, it makes it really hard to feel bad for your wrongdoings when you should feel bad. There's things you should, if you fuck up and you fuck someone over and you do something wrong, it's good to feel bad. That means you have a conscience, and, hopefully, like, don't feel too bad, don't go killing yourself, don't feel that bad, but it's like, confront it. But if after you go through all that and you feel bad and you go through it, and then all of a sudden and then it's like, people start justifying their shitty behavior, knowing that you've already testified, you've already made your testimony, you've already learned the lesson. But for some reason, some people get in their head that they can keep the original sin, going. Like, as if the lesson hasn't been learned, as if it's not over, which makes the original sin questionable. Was that even a sin to begin with? Was that even a fucking sin to begin with? Did I actually do anything wrong? And it becomes a cycle. It becomes a circle, a never-ending circle. I think the word for it is, there's a word for it in Buddhism, samsara. I think samsara is when you reach this cycle. It's like the endless cycle of like being like reincarnated. You just keep reincarnating and in different forms, but more or less it's like the justification, which leads to a different topic, which I've been wanting to talk about, which is not related, but it's there's two different perspectives in life that I'm trying to articulate, which is those that believe in reincarnation and those that believe that there's only one life and what that means. And excuse me, and how that motivates and how that because if, you know, there's just, it's just how it makes you appreciate life. Like how do those two different perspectives make one appreciate life? And is it okay to is one better than the other? I don't know if that's a necessary question. But my point is that I, for years, justified a lot of the shit that I was putting myself through, a lot of my own self-hatred and putting myself through some hard things. I called it putting it through myself. I was doing it to myself. But there hit a day where it's like, okay, well, I don't want to do this to myself anymore. And people expected me to continue living in that mentality of like deserving to suffer. And me realizing that that's their character, that they want people to suffer all the time, makes me question my original mistake. Like, well, maybe that wasn't a mistake. Maybe it's good that I fucked you over because you're such a shithead. You want people to fucking suffer. So maybe it's good I fucked you over. Like, you know, and I don't want to go there. I really don't. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, when you start justifying when you rationalize violence in any way, like, you know, think of like, I think it's when you try to make it personal that it feels worse or better, you know? And, yeah, man, like, I don't know. It's like, it really is very cyclical. You just see, it's like the consistent finger pointing, just, you do this. And what's crazy about it is they, in the moment, are doing the thing that they are saying you are doing. And it's, the word you is being misused. I don't know. I see it as a very, taxing, it's very monetary sounding, isn't it? Taxing, paying your dues, paying your debts, and that's what it is. Like, you're paying interest on a fucking problem that's been solved. You've already paid off the debt. It's the same thing as like you already crossed the finish line and people are still fucking competing with each other. Like, I can't stand it. I can't stand watching people compete over dirty water sources. Like, oh, who gets to drink, like, and the ones letting them compete for it are the ones that we're trying to impress. Maybe it's a good thing that I fucked up with. Like, I'm glad that I didn't get an A. I'm glad that I didn't fucking pass. I'm glad that I fucking failed, because I learned that you are merciless and that you get off on suffering. And that if I do anything else to try to impress you, I'll become like you. And that is, would be the greatest shame. Yes, you've shamed me and embarrassed me and humiliated me, but the greater shame would be becoming like you and agreeing to this demise that you want me to believe in more than anything. And this end of this world, like, I don't know about you, but I've been hearing about the end of the world my whole life. My whole life has been some kind of apocalyptic. You have one 1999, Y2K. You have 2012. You have COVID. And that's like worldwide things that everyone is in on, that everyone knows about and has been warned about. That's not to consider the personal endings ends of moments and understandings and worlds that I've come to realize. And sitting there being like, karma is a mistake, because it's arrogant. It's this all-knowing justification of a fucking anti-hero. It's the anti-hero. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. The meanness, the mean-spiritedness, and trying to get away with it and trying to call it like, you know, being group work or trying to call it community is a huge mistake, and it's kind of hard to unsee it. It's kind of like once you realize like that there's nothing to fit into, there's nothing to fit into. Like, it's like you're trying to, that's why it's not working, because you're trying to impress people that if you actually impressed, you would lose self-respect for having their approval in, like, on a deep soul level. Like, you wouldn't respect yourself. And it's not, and it's amazing, because people can take a stripper and try to make them feel bad about themselves just as much as they can take a college student and try to, you know, it's not a, they can take your gender, they try to take the gender, they try to take the age you're in, the color of your eye, like anything that it's very, it makes it, it's a temptation to become like them, to just become as fucking miserable as they hope that you are. And it's sad to think that you're over there suffering because you're seeing it as, oh, well, look at, they're getting happier. But really, they get off on it. And they're not actually, they're not going to be happy, because that's not what they want. They don't want to be happy. They want to be miserable. And that is, yeah, and them getting off on your suffering isn't true happiness. So, if you've made it through this whole video, thank you. That gives my channel more views, and be sure to share it with someone if you think it will help them, or if it's good food for thought, and subscribe and like, and I appreciate all of my subscribers and viewers, and yeah, I found out, I recently posted my friend, I found out an old friend has been dead for over a year, and that my sense of reality is a little bit off right now. I've also gotten 2 stories about how they passed, and I'm just a little bit, I'm questioning reality a lot right now, and I don't know, I give thanks to God for any anchoring and peace that I have. Yeah, God bless y'all.